What's going on, Wired fam? Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. June the 24th. Hope everybody had a good Father's Day. Happy Father's Day again to all the fathers out there. I myself had a very good Father's Day. We spent Father's Day camping, tent camping, as a matter of fact, and it was a lot of fun. Back to the basics, right? You know, tent camping's a lost art, I feel, but we had a lot of fun. So some of you probably saw that on my page. We had a lot of good memories. Had a lot of good times, a lot of good memories. So let's see who all's on tonight. If you guys don't care, drop me a hello. Let me know where you're from. Got Mr. Larry Merrick. Got Steven. He said he's normally late, but he's here early. Good job. Good deal. Welcome, Steven. Ashley Kofi, hello. Blake Hawk, what's up? Josh Sanders, hello. You're welcome, Steven. Steven thanked me for the dedication. You're welcome, sir. Asleep at the Real. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Wait, wrong time of year. Yeah, you're a little early there, bud. Don't wish the year away so fast. Aaron Pratt, hello. David Stott, is that correct, David? What's going on? Hope I pronounced that right. Fishing Lake Country, what's up? Hello from Virginia. Aaron, hello. Major Brown, hello from Chicago. I did not lose anything in Chicago. That's for sure. Great city, just, man, when I was up there, it was crazy. Chicago's nuts. I flew into O'Hare, and it was a mess. Of course, anytime you take a trip, I guess it's a mess. Sean Mitchell, hello. Matt Scotch, hello. David Stott. That's correct. Good deal. Got one right. Crickwater said, back from vacation, Matt must have caught them all on chick. It was very slow today. I didn't fish down there while you were on vacation, but, oh, wait. Did I? Yeah, I did. I did fish while you were on vacation. We did okay when we went down there. I didn't video it, but we did go down there and fish. Southern Middle Tennessee, Adam Campbell, hello. I think wasn't there a Crappie USA tournament in Middle Tennessee a couple weeks ago, Adam? I believe there was. I think it's on Old Hickory. I did not fish it, but it's hard to do everything, fish everything. Ronnie Harris, good evening. Buck Chaser, hello. I'll be listening on my cell phone tonight, dragging the boat home from Lake Fork. Another good day on the water. Well, keep rubbing it in, Buck Chaser. All right, hope I didn't miss anybody. We'll get some more as they come through. Yeah, this last week was really good. Had a really good time. Fished a lot. Spent a lot of time on the water. Fish are definitely in that summer pattern. A lot of fish on docks, deep brush. My favorite time of year, as you guys know, to fish is summer. I absolutely love it. There's no competition in the summer, hardly. And there's a lot of fish to be caught. They still eat. So as the days get hotter and the temperatures continue to rise, fish will get a little bit more lethargic when the temperatures get way up there. Generally August, June, July, you can catch fish pretty easy. August and first half of September, they can get a little bit lethargic from being so hot, water temps being up, and But generally, that's when I'll go to a smaller bait, and I'll even carry some live bait from time to time. I'll fish with a slip float, minnow, do some of that stuff. So, anyway, favorite time of year to fish by far. I caught probably, I don't know, this past weekend, I probably caught 400 fish, easy. And that's a Saturday, Sunday. I caught a lot of fish, but I was on the lake. I was camping on the lake too, so I was on the lake half the day or most of the day, pretty much both days. So, took the kids out, tried to get the wife out on the boat, but she's reluctant to get out on the boat. I'm gonna get her out there eventually. We're gonna do a video of her catching her first crappie. You know, believe it or not, guys, my wife has never caught a crappie. Never, not one. So we're gonna have to rectify that. We're gonna have to get my wife out on the boat, and you guys leave some comments for her. Tell her to get out there. Tell her quit being lazy. Get out on the boat. I'll show them all to her. So we're gonna try to get her out there, get the wired mama out there, and get her catching some fish. I think honestly, I keep telling her if she'd do it, if she'd go out there and catch fish with me, she'd be hooked. But she doesn't think so. So who knows? She says it's me. I don't know. She spends enough time with me, I guess. Let's see. Who all else do we have here? I know I missed some. Adam Campbell said yes, Old Hickory. Sean Mitchell, lots of boat traffic on the Chick with Super Tournament this week. Yeah, there's a bass tournament going out of Chick. FLW Super Event, and I don't remember how many boats are in it, but there's hundreds of boats down there. Or was. I think they cut the field to 100. Now I think they cut it to 50 after today. And I think they cut it to 25 for the fourth day. I think it's 25 boats or something like that. So anyway, it'll get better. Trent Smith, hello. Kip Wright's bragging about being on Fork in the morning. Good luck, Kip. Trent Smith's from Ohio. Robert Chadwick, hello from Ohio. Creekwater had some check the bait and swim away. Found a bunch with live scope, but just were picky. They can get like that on Chick sometimes. A lot of times you find a lot of fish, but they're picky. They won't eat. Guys, how many of y'all have been to Gunny's? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Tell me if you've been to Gunny's in Maryville to the Crappie Cove, and tell me what you thought. Gunny's in Maryville, Tennessee, has opened a Crappie Cove. They've got all the best stuff. I know they have everything that's back here. If it's back here, they got it, with the exception of the planer boards and the crankbaits. I don't think they have crankbaits or planer boards yet. They got everything else. So yeah, they've got a great setup going on over there. And if you guys hadn't been there to check that out, you need to go. You need to check them out. And you can get 10% off using the wired discount too. If you tell them you know Wired, they'll hook you up. Travis, hello. He said my internet's unreliable tonight. Just stopping by to say hello. Hello, Travis. I hate that your internet's not working right. John says headed to Watts Bar in the morning, putting in at 58 Landing. Any suggestions? 58 Landing, Kingston, right? Yeah, we go up the river. Up the river, find brush and docks. You should do fine. Look for brush in 15 to 25 feet of water in the creek channels. And if you go up the river, I wouldn't fish main river. I would fish primary creek channels, 15 to 18 or 15 to 25 feet. Asleep. He said, Tell her if she does not do it, her new name will be Wired for Vacuuming. Yeah. I'd be wired for divorce. Yeah. uh, James Humphreys, first timer from Felsenthal, Arkansas. Did I say that right, James? Felsenthal, Arkansas. I think that's right. That's a pretty neat name. I hadn't heard that one. But welcome to the Wired Live, and welcome to the Wired family. So hope you enjoy. And James, if you have any questions, put you a comment. I'll answer your question to the best of my ability, and I'd be more than happy to see a question or two from you. So drop me a question if you don't care. Larry said, I have got Ozarks. Larry's been to Crappie Cove. 10 foot. He got a 10-foot Ozark from Crappie Cove. John Nelson, thank you for the advice. You're welcome, sir. All right, let's talk a little bit more about my fishing this last weekend. Again, fish brush. My best bait was probably there was two that really stood out. The white and chartreuse stump bug, which I have somewhere right here. The white and chartreuse bonehead stump bug, and the other one was slick neon. So it's kind of I guess it's like a Bobby Garland monkey milk up top, and then it's got green tails. Those were my two best baits this last weekend. I used those most all weekend, and if they wouldn't hit one, they'd hit the other. So I kind of bounced back and forth between the two. And when the fish slowed down on one color, I'd throw the other in there, and they'd hit it. So it was I dropped it. It was a very good weekend, a lot of fun. I'm going to have another video out for you guys. I took all my kids fishing. Took my niece, took my son, my oldest son, and my youngest son. And we caught a lot of fish, had a really good day. And then Sunday, I got on an area that generally always holds fish in the summer, but there's just a lot of brush in there. And it's all sitting at about 20 feet. And it's actually almost in the very back of the creek, but it's right where it's kind of funny because it's right where a spring comes out. There's a spring in the back, and then the creek channel actually carries depth all the way to the back of the creek, and it's 20 to 25 feet. Actually, from about half the creek out, it's 30 to 35, and then it's 25 to 20 until you get to the spring. So it's kind of a neat little area that you don't find a whole lot like that. But I went in there Sunday morning, and I sat there for 2 hours and caught fish, one cast after the other, after the other, after the other. It was ridiculous. I mean, I've got so much video that literally I could put a 2-hour show together of nothing but catching fish. It's crazy. So a lot of good fish, a lot of cookie cutter fish. You guys have heard me say cookie cutter fish before, just 10-inch fish. But it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to go in there and just catch fish after fish. So again, same colors, white and chartreuse, and then that slick neon stump bugs. They were working. I stuck with them. I never did throw anything else. So, ow, good night. I just stuck myself in the foot with something. Golly, guys. That hurt. Something under my desk. Might have been a hook. Ow. Wired's injured. Injuries on the job. Oh, I don't have workers' comp. Ouch. Sorry. That hurt. Oh, let's see. You guys got any more comments for me? Questions? Trent, good questions. Wired hats. They are in the making, sir. I should have some shortly. And I will let everybody know when they're available and ready. Tim Thorne, good question. Where should I place my brush piles? Well, Tim, it depends on a couple different things. Are you a seasonal fisherman or are you a year-round fisherman? And are you looking to hold numbers of crappie or are you looking to hold big crappie? So I generally tell people that are looking to catch keeper fish and want to catch a bunch of keeper fish. They want their brush piles to be the most productive they can be. I generally tell people 15 to 18 feet of water, creek channels, ledges, points. Generally go to the inside of the point. So if you have a main lake point, and if it's a secondary point and it's in the creek, it really doesn't make much difference what side you're on. It doesn't really matter if you're on the inside or outside, I guess, of the creek of the point, or on the end of the point. If it was a secondary point, I'd probably go right on the end of it. But if it's a main lake point, I'd go on the inside of that point. I'd keep it out of the main river and put it on the inside of the point. The reason I say that, especially in East Tennessee, is because it's hard to fish those main lake areas when they're running water. It makes fishing a little tough out there. And a lot of times when the river's rolling like they do, TVA rolls it up here from time to time, those fish will come on the inside of that point because that point will act as a current break, and they can get just inside that point and sit on structure. And not only will the fish pull in there, but the bait pulls in there too. So they can be really, really good spots, even if the river's moving. So, but 15 to 18 feet of water, and I'd look at creek channels and points and ledges. Yeah, that would be, and that's for year-round fishing. I mean, that 15 to 18 feet of water is generally going to hold fish year-round. That's winter, spring, summer, fall. Josh Hurst from Harrogate, Tennessee. Hello. Steven said, watch out wearing that chartreuse hat. Reaction strikes out the, the reaction strikes, yeah. Chartreuse does cause a reaction strike in fish. That's scientifically proven. So, let me turn around. There we go. That's bright. I'm going to turn that back. There we go. That's better. Michael from Texas. Hello. John said that looked like it hurt. Yeah, it did. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was a piece of wood, and I think it's in my foot. I think it's a splinter that is in my foot. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out after this. I'm sure the bottom of my foot is bleeding at this point, but oh well. We shall press on. All right, Robert Chadwick. What recommendations do you have for those fishing for crappie from a boat without electronics? Without electronics, Robert, I would fish visible structure. If you don't have electronics, you're really not going to be able to locate submerged structure, open water structure. It's going to be difficult. If you're in East Tennessee, Robert, I would say fish docks. You should or if you have access to internet, you should be able to get on Navionics. Go to the Navionics boating app, and you should be able to look at your local lake, and you should be able to see the docks on your local lake, and you should be able to see what water depths are under those docks. Okay, find you some docks with 8 to 15 feet of water and fish every one you can get to. Learn to shoot docks, fish docks, and you'll catch fish. Okay, they're not going to be under every dock, but they're going to be under a lot of docks. I've caught fish off a lot of docks in East Tennessee. Every lake in East Tennessee holds docks, and most lakes around the country, docks hold fish too. I've had the pleasure of fishing North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky. I've had the pleasure of moving around a little bit. So and like I said, I've caught fish on docks in every state that I mentioned. So depending on where you are, I'd probably start with docks to catch crappie. If I go to a new lake, that's where I start. And I'll be honest, I start on docks. I look for fish on docks, and then I look for structure around docks. So if I can find structure around docks, it's a bonus. But that'd be my recommendation for you. Addicted to hunting, high-wired family. Where's the fish? They are settling on brush piles here in Louisiana and shade of docks. So that's about where they are up here too. They're settling in on deep brush, 15 to 25 feet. I did find some fish last weekend that were shallow as 12, but those fish were very early morning or very late evening fish that were moving up on flats, and I found them around. They weren't really in brush; they're more around it than they were in it. But the majority of my fish came out of 18 to 22 feet, somewhere right around there, 18 to 22. And I did catch a lot of fish on docks. I did fish docks some. You guys maybe saw the video. I took my dog out. That was his kind of first trip crappie fishing, so took him out and really had a good time with him. And then we fished some docks, and man, the docks that we fished, there was fry. And I'm not sure if it was bass fry or crappie fry, but there was fry everywhere. I mean, you could look down the water and just see fry just scattered all over the place. It was crazy. And there was little bass in there. My goodness, there was bass. I don't know how many little bass I caught that day. And I'm talking like little 1-pounders. I mean, they were just everywhere. So yeah, that was kind of cool. It was kind of fun. But they were under that dock. They were just stacked in there. And the crappie were stacked in there too. There just wasn't much size to them. So, but anyway, yeah, put the hat on the correct way. We'll have to call you MC Bonehead. Yep, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Let's see, Josh Sanders, what mount you use for your 93 SV? I use a balls out mount. It is a 12-inch balls out mount. I love it. I really do. But I have recently bought I think it was a 6-inch. I think it was a 6-inch mount for my HDS 10. It was a cornfield crappie mount, and I like it just as much. I probably like the cornfield crappie mount a little bit more, and the reason is because I like the way that you tighten it down. It uses an Allen wrench to tighten it down instead of having the knobs on the balls out mount. So I like it a little bit more, just for that simple purpose. But they're both great mounts. So Josh, whatever, a balls out mount or a cornfield crappie mount, either one will hold it really, really well. And cornfield crappie actually has a mount. It's a telescoping mount. I haven't seen that or experimented with it. I know some guys that have it that I just hadn't talked too much about it yet, but I'm going to. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I'd like having my live scope up that high on the telescoping mount. I feel like it might get in my way some. It may not, but the way I like to fish, I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know. I'll just have to look at that and see. But right now, I'm using a balls out mount for my 93. All right, Larry Merrick says confused. If the brush pile itself is 6 foot and put it in 15 to 18 foot in the summer pool, then it will be sticking out of the water in winter pool, right? Chick goes up down 10 feet. Larry, hang on a minute. I don't think chick goes up and down 10 feet, does it? Not chick. But yeah, I mean, that's going to happen to you. There's on some of our East Tennessee lakes, especially Douglas, I mean, you have to have 2 sets of brush piles. Douglas, Cherokee are really the only 2 that you have to have 2 sets of brush piles, Larry. Chickamauga, Watts Bar, Tellico. I fish some of the same stuff in the winter that I fish in the summer. So, if you get something that's in that 20, 18, 20 foot, somewhere in there, let's see. Chickamauga, I can tell you, I got it right here. Hang on. The swing on Chickamauga is, and somebody's probably already commented faster than I can look it up. $681 is summer pool, and $677 is winter pool. So it goes down 5 feet, Larry. So you're looking at 5 feet. If you put something in 18 feet of water, it's going to be in 13 in the winter. And in the winter, it'll hold fish because fish will stack up shallower in the winter. So Loudon, Tellico, Watts Bar, they're all similar to chick. They don't go down that much. 5 to 7 feet is about all they're going to go down. So to answer your question on Chickamauga, no. I mean, if you put it in 20 feet of water, you're going to be able to fish it all year. Addicted to hunting. What's your favorite duck shooting rod? My favorite is probably the Ozark 6 foot dock shooter. It's probably my favorite. I do have a couple other rods, one other rod that I like. The B&M Sharpshooter 6 is also a good dock shooting rod. Bonehead makes a 6 foot dock shooter that actually I think it's 5.5. I think it's a 5.5 footer. It's a good dock shooting rod too. But if I had to say my favorite, it'd probably be the Ozark 6 foot dock shooter. And if you buy an Ozark rod, use the discount code WIRED and they'll give you 10% off. So that'll get you guys, save you some money. Aaron says, I've had some luck catching early morning crappie on deep bridge pylons. Do you think they would hold fish the same way at night? Yes. The thing about them holding fish at night is they're probably going to be shallower. So they'll probably move up the pylon when it gets dark, especially if you put lights out. If you're going to put lights out, then your bait's going to come to your light and your fish are going to move up to the bait. So if you don't put lights out, they're still probably coming shallower. There's no light penetration from the sun, obviously. If it's a full moon and a clear sky, they may not come up as much, but they're still coming up. Most of the time at night, your bait comes up and they're following the bait. So, but bridges will hold fish at night, yes. Grant Bailey, what's up? Welcome. Glad you joined us, buddy. It's okay, you're late. We won't hold it against you. James Humphreys, you got it correct, on the bank of the Ouachita River. Now, I think I said Ouachita right. I think that's how that's pronounced. Y'all got some weird names up there, James. I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. Trent Huber. Made you famous at Best Buy the other day. Had you streaming on 5 different computers. Well, thank you, Trent. I appreciate that. That's awesome, man. That would have been, you should have taken a picture of that and sent it to me. I bet you that was pretty cool. Did you have me up on all the different TV screens and stuff, or just the computers? That's pretty cool right there. Yeah, y'all do that. Go to all the Best Buys, go to all the US Cellulars and the Verizons and everywhere else. That's a good idea, Trent. Go to their browser on their little phones that everybody can play with and their computers, and just type wired for crappie in and just hit play all. Just hit play all on all of it. Just let them play. That'd be great. I appreciate you, Trent. That's funny. But thank you. Seriously, Trent. Thank you very much. Michael says, what's your favorite length jigging rod? I don't know that I have a favorite length, Michael. I'm a short rod fisherman. Okay. You guys that have seen my videos and been with me for a while, you guys know I'm a 6 foot guy. I mean, I love my 6 foot rods. I can do everything with them. I can shoot docks. I can fish brush. I can vertical jig. I mean, yeah, I got to get a little closer to the fish, but crappie on brush don't move like open water fish do. Open water fish will get spooky, but crappie that are on structure, they'll sit right there. You can pull right over top of their head and they'll sit there and, go about their business because they feel safe. Sorry, I just saw Michael's follow-up comment, but I think he was telling me how to pronounce that river. Is Ouachita River. Okay. Looks like Ouachita, but Ouachita River. Okay, thank you. I got that one wrong. That's the one wrong for me tonight. But yes, I'm a short rod fisherman. I feel like I can do everything with it. I can put one set of rods in the boat and I can do anything and everything I need to do for a day crappie fishing on the water. But if I had to pick a rod, a jigging rod, it would probably be an 11 footer. A lot of times I feel like 10 foot, I feel like I'm too short with a 10 footer, but then a 12 footer, I feel like I've got too much rod in my hand and I'm a little guy, I'm 5'7", so it makes my arm hurt because I'm lazy and I peck on a keyboard at work all day. So, I feel like a 12 footer is just too much rod and a 10 footer sometimes isn't enough. So I like an 11 footer. The Pro Staff from Ozark is a good one. B&M makes a good 11-footer. I know Chris uses the ACCs. They've got some good stuff going. I think they've got an 11-footer. But I would probably go with the 11 for jigging. JT's all outdoors. Hey, Matt, sorry I'm late. Just got off the lake. That's all right. You're getting off the lake late. Late, JT. Fish all day, my friend. Welcome. I'm glad you're with us. Terry Landry, there you go. Spelled that way, pronounced that way. I'm not butchering that up again. That way, and that way spelled, that way pronounced. Thank y'all very much. Have a good night. I'm out. That's pretty funny. Thank y'all very much. By the way, you hear about that river a lot. You hear there's some pretty good crappie fishing out that way. I have not fished out that way, but you hear a lot of people saying Ouachita River, Ouachita. I got it right that time. But you hear that a lot. I think, who is it that fishes out there? The Crappie Masters that fishes out there? I think they fish out there a lot, don't they? I think. Does anybody know what the results were for the Crappie USA tournament on Old Hickory? I think it took about 10 pounds or something like that to win it, I think. 7 fish, about 10 pounds or something like that. Ronnie Harris, looking forward to you getting another camera so we can watch videos on live scope catches. Like watching Go Fish and Asleep's videos when not watching yours. Yeah, Ronnie. It's funny you say that because I just had a conversation with Chris at Asleep earlier, and I have actually went and put another GoPro in my cart like 5 different times, and I can't ever make myself hit submit order. I don't know why, but maybe it's because I'm a tight wad. Maybe it's because I don't know. I mean, I can't make myself buy one. I really want to show you guys some live scope stuff. I really enjoy doing that. But I feel like there's so much going on out there, and there's so many people that are doing live scope, and live scope's a huge thing, and I'm afraid I'm going to get in just a live scope vibe and do nothing but live scope. And I really want to teach you guys and show you guys all the different ways to catch. I mean, live scope's not the end all be all for crappie fishing. Yes, it's a great tool. Yes, it helps you catch fish. It makes you more efficient on the water, but it's not the end all be all either. There's a lot of guys that don't have live scope and can't afford live scope. And, I still want to do stuff other than live scope. So, yes, I am going to do some more live scope stuff. I'm going to show you guys some live scope catches. I'm going to, I'll probably just use my phone, to be honest with you. I don't know that I'll invest in another GoPro. When I first started my channel, all I used was my cell phone. As a matter of fact, the cell phone that I used, I still have. I don't use it anymore. I got a new cell phone. So maybe I'll just make my old cell phone another camera and get you guys some video. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to get into a mode where every fish I catch, I'm showing you guys the live scope footage. I've seen that out there a lot, and it's cool to see, but I just don't want to get into that every time. I hope, Ronnie, you can understand that. I hope that doesn't upset anybody, but, I do want to mix it up some. And I just saw your comment. Sorry. But yes, I will get you some live scope footage, I promise. And I may do just a show of nothing but live scope where I'm just talking. I may do that. and just say, hey, here's the bait, here's the fish, watch this, here he comes, bam, caught him, there he is. But we'll see. We'll play around with it a little bit. John Stokes, got to get to work. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, John. Have a good night at work, buddy. JT's all outdoors. Matt, check out the last camera that I bought. I just dropped a video of a few days ago. A Casa 65.00, just like a GoPro. Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you. Have your wife do it. Buy it now. Mine has no problem with it. The live scope, Grant, is that what you're talking about? Have your wife buy a live scope? I think that's what you're talking about. So I fished with Grant. Speaking of wives, here's my wife right here. I think that's claps. Is that claps? Is that claps with hearts? I can't tell. I don't have my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. I think that's claps with hearts. Love you too, honey. Yeah, so I fished with Grant and his wife. Great fishermen, by the way. Him and his wife are a great team. If I can ever get them to start fishing crappie tournaments, they're going to be tough to tangle with, that's for sure. Which, by the way, Grant, you guys need to be fishing at least our next Watts Bar tournament. You got to fish, so. I got all kinds of problems. That went down the wrong pipe. I swear it's sweet tea, but it went down the wrong way. So I fished with Grant and his wife a few weeks ago. Great anglers, very accomplished anglers, and can catch fish. His wife, actually, I got her to look at the live scope, and she looked at it. She caught about 2 fish with it, and she's like, babe, you got to get this. We got to get this. This is crazy. Well, I can watch the jig go in their mouth. It's just, she was all about it after that. She's like, let's spend some money. And I was like, ooh, hey, Grant's getting a live scope. Woo! So that's pretty cool. I think that's what Grant's talking about there. Speaking of which, while my wife's on here, let me show you guys what my wife got me for Father's Day. Wife, boys, she got me this, what's this thing called? It's what's this thing called? I don't remember. I can't remember what it's called now. She got me this. It says, we're hooked on Daddy. It's got the rod, and it's got my kids' names right here. So you got Braden and Brantley right there. Isn't that neat? Isn't that cool? I love it. Anyway, I want to show that to you guys. It's one of those things like they paint on, you know. I can't remember what it's called. You guys will tell me here in a minute, but I can tell you what baits are, and I can tell you what line is, and I can tell you what rods, but I can't tell you what this thing's called. But I love it. Thank you, honey. That's why I've got it right up here for you guys to see. It's one of the coolest things I've got. That's for sure. So thank y'all. Thank you, honey. I love you. And it was a great Father's Day present. I really appreciate it. Bradley Baker. Hi, Matt. On deep water lakes, do crappie hold in deep water creek channels, timber 30, 40, 50 feet, deep below thermocline? Don't have a live scope, but my HDS shows a lot of light bulbs in timber. Bradley, fish will hold on timber, yes. Below the thermocline, 30, 40, 50 feet deep, I have seen fish. I'm not going to say they won't. I have seen fish down that deep, yes. But typically those fish are not going to, crappie are not going to hold that deep. Some of your other fish will. I have seen crappie that deep, but deep water lakes are generally cooler lakes, and you can generally find fish in that 20 to 25 foot range. I'm not saying that you won't catch them again that deep, but I generally don't catch them that deep. And on top of that, if you do catch them that deep, you're generally, I mean, that's got to fizz or got to keep territory, especially in the summer. If you pull them up out of that depth water, I mean, you'd rather have to keep them or have to fizz them to get them to go back down. Because I caught some this last weekend out of 25, and we pulled one up, and it looked like a for the guys that have fished offshore before, it looked like a snapper that you pulled off a wreck. I mean, its eyes were both bugged out. And I managed to get that fish to go back down. But when we first threw him back in the lake, he literally sat there head up, tail down, and he was struggling. So, like I said, managed to get him to go back down. I hope he's okay. But, yeah, I typically don't fish anywhere near that deep. But it's worth a try. Canvas. That's it. That's my canvas. Right up here. It's a canvas. Thank y'all. See, y'all got to keep me straight. That kind of stuff, I can't talk much about it, but I love it. I just can't talk much about it. I'm not letting her off the hook. Ashley says that's awesome. She did a great job. That lets her off the hook on the actual fishing. No, it does not. No, sirree. She's got to go. I told her she's got to go, Ashley. You got to go at some point. And we're going to video it. We're going to let you guys see it because oh, there she is. She said, "Ha, Ashley, saving myself some more time." No, you're not. No, sirree, Bob George. I'm going to get her in the boat. She's going in the boat. She's going to go catch a fish. One of these days, she's going to go catch one. I'm just going to sit back and watch, too. I ain't going to say a word. I'm just going to show her how the live scope works. I'm going to show her how to see stuff, and I'm going to let her go. Josh Sanders, what ramp do you typically put in for the chick? One that you won't get your truck burned down. Or your window broken, which is hard to find right now. They have had some problems on chick lately with some vandalism and stuff, but typically, Josh, I'll put in, I'm on the east side of that lake. So I'll typically put in, I don't have a ramp that I typically put in at on any lake. I generally move around a lot. I try not to go to the same ramp more than one time in a row, unless I'm in a hurry or, taking the kids or something like that, then I'll go the same ramp. But if I'm by myself fishing, I try to put in a different ramp every time I go to the lake. And I think that a lot of guys would benefit from doing the same thing. I mean, if you guys would venture out, go to a different ramp, just set your mind to it. I'm going to drive the extra 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to that ramp, and I'm going to fish up there all day. A lot of guys would benefit from that, learning new waters. So if I had to pick a ramp that, let's just say I wanted to go fish and catch fish, I'd rather put in at Wolf Teever, Harrison Bay. Again, I'm on the east side of the lake, or in the winter, Grasshopper. It's hard to put in at Grasshopper in the winter because it's shallow, but you really need two people to do it. You can do it by yourself. It's just a pill. But yeah, that'd be where I'd fish. Josh Hurst, I know you have a portable live scope unit for tournament fishing, but do you have or know of any mounts to help with a second fisherman to use live scope when fishing together? Yes. Well, hang on. Mounts to help with a second fisherman to use live scope when fishing together. Yeah, so we actually use 2 live scopes when we're tournament fishing, Josh. And if you have seen the fishing specialties mount, the way I have my boat rigged up, I have a bracket on either side of the boat, so I can move my pole from one side of the boat to the other depending on current direction I'm fishing. Let's say you're fishing a dock and you need to fish out of the left side. You can move the pole to the left side. If you're fishing a dock and need to fish out of the right side, you move the pole to the right side. But another benefit to having those 2 mounts, one on either side of the boat, is I can run 2 live scopes out of the front of the boat with a pole on either side. So if you set yourself up with the fishing specialties mount, then you can buy a pole for your portable live scope, buy a pole for your live scope that's mounted in the boat, and you can fish with 2 live scopes at the same time. I hope that makes sense. But Fishing Specialties is another supporter of the channel. So if you look at their stuff, if you use the discount code WIRED, WIRED, you get 10% off there too. Chris is going to get in so much trouble, and I love it. Chris, you're doomed, sir. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so Josh, WIRED, 10% off Fishing Specialties. Check out their mounts. Check out my video. It's called Live Scope Pole, and it'll show you what I mean by their mounts, and they work really great. And it allows you, like I said, to fish with Chris, quit. It allows you to fish with 2 poles at the same time, 2 live scopes, and you can see different stuff at the same time. One angler can fish off this side of the boat, one angler can fish off that side of the boat, and that helps a lot, especially when you're fishing large trees or brush piles. A lot of times people put out 2 trees in one spot or 2 buckets in one spot, yada, yada, yada. So you can fish 2 things at the same time. 2 anglers can fish, and they can both look at their live scope, okay? And that's the way we do it, so hope that helps. Now, before I go on, let me tell y'all what Chris did, because he keeps texting me and it keeps distracting me. He sent me a message. I'm going to dime you out right here, Chris. This is priceless. So Chris is a moderator for the page, first of all, for the lives, because there have been some instances where we've had some trolls get on my lives, and they've commented some really funky stuff and just stupid stuff, just trying to be trolls is what they are. And so he offered, he's like, hey, Matt, let me help you out. I'll watch for some of those crazy comments. He's still texting me. He called me a butthole. Anyway, so he's a moderator for the page. Thank you for that, first of all. He just texted me and he's like, hey man, I was trying to type a message and I got a little bit confused here. And he said, I accidentally deleted your wife's post. And I'm going to tell her that Chris didn't like her post, and he got upset about it. So he deleted it because he doesn't like her. He doesn't really like her, and he deleted her stuff because he doesn't really like her. So, and he texted me back and said that I was a butthole, and he appreciated it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna rub that one in for a while. That one's gonna ride for a little bit. Anyway, that was why I was chuckling. Thanks, Chris. All right, where was I? All right, Josh said, I've only used Wolf Teaver or Chester Frost. Haven't ventured anywhere else. I'll take the advice and mix it up once I get all the electronics on this week. Yeah, I mean, Josh, like I said, and for everybody that's watching, seriously, stretch yourself. Go. Everybody likes to go catch fish. I like to go catch fish. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them, I said, look, I said, the best thing you can do as an angler, the absolute best thing you can do, okay, is stretch yourself, challenge yourself, fish new water every chance you get, every single chance you get, fish new water. And before you know it, the new water is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And before you know what happened, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to look at your unit and you're going to look at your map and you're going to see waypoints all over your lake. And you're just going to be like, wow, I didn't know I had that many waypoints. I think on Tellico Lake, and you guys know Tellico is my home lake. It's probably actually not the closest lake to me now that we moved to Maryville. Loudon's probably closer, but Tellico, I still consider it my home lake because I've fished it most in my crappie fishing venture, whatever you call that, excursions. I've probably got 800 to 1,200 waypoints on Tellico, probably. Maybe more than that. I've got so many that I don't remember what they are. You know, I have to go over. I see one and I go, what was that? And I have to go over it and try to remember. So, I mean, before you know it, guys, you'll wake up one day and you'll look and you'll say, man, I got stuff all over this lake. And you'll be able to go catch fish no matter what ramp you go to, no matter when you go. You know, always, if you go out in the summer and you're fishing that, and again, I'll stress this, if you go out in the summer and you're fishing that 18 to 25 foot of water and you're catching fish and you're going to be out there 6 hours and you know you got 6 hours to fish for 4, and the other 2 hours, go look for other structure. And I'll even go a step further than that. Spend an hour and look for more stuff in that 18 to 25 feet. And then spend an hour looking for stuff in that 12 to 15 foot range. Because that 12 to 15 foot range, you're going to fish in the spring. You never can have too many waypoints. You just can't. Because you never know when this brush that you normally fish is not going to have fish on it. If somebody asked me if you could only give me one bit of advice, what would it be? That would be what I'd give you. It doesn't, I mean, let me tread lightly when I say this. The bait you use, the line you use, the rod you use, the jig head you use, the hooks you use, the floats you use, the whatever it is you use beyond that, it really doesn't matter, guys. Not as much as the finding structure, spending the time looking for fish, locating as many waypoints as you can. On a bad day, an angler that has 500 different spots he can check is going to do better than an angler that has 5. It's numbers. It's a numbers game. So spend the time, venture out, go to different lakes, and I'm going to get off that soapbox. Sean Mitchell, Grasshopper is a good ramp. Yep, it is. It's a very good ramp. Like I said, it gets a little shallow in the winter, but other than that, it's a good ramp. Grant Bailey, me and Michelle hope to fish the Chick for some crappie this upcoming week on vacation, staycation. Well, good luck, guys. Fish docks. Don't ignore docks. Fish docks. Josh Sanders said, thanks, Sean. I'm on the west side of the lake, but may have to ease up that way and give it a shot. All right, Josh. So if you're on the east side of the lake, you've got Sail Creek, you've got Dayton. There's a lot of crappie out of Dayton. I fish Dayton area. I fish Chickamauga all the way up to the dam. I fish Chickamauga from dam to dam. And I'm telling you, there's fish from dam to dam. So, a lot of fish come out of Dayton. A lot of fish out of Dayton. A lot of fish out of Sail Creek. A lot of fish out of Possum Creek. There's a ramp back in the back of it. I think there's one other one on that side that has a ramp in it outside of Chester Frost. But venture your way up a little bit. You'll like it. There's a lot of good fishing up there. Sean Mitchell, yep, you have to pay there, but they will keep an eye on your truck. I feel like my truck is safe there, $5 a day or $65 for a year. Yeah, Grasshopper is a pay ramp. I guess I should have said that. Grasshopper is a pay ramp, and they do charge you $5, but it's a great ramp, and it is worth it. Oh, Ashley's calling me out. Since you like challenging yourself, you should come do some videos on Norris. Well, I like challenging myself. I don't like killing myself, and I don't like shaming myself. So, Ashley, Norris is funny. Funny. Mm-hmm. Yep, for lack of better words, because if I say anything bad, too bad, YouTube will flag me. I can't say Norse sucks. I can say that. I mean, it's a good lake. There's fish in Norse. I've caught fish out of Norse. I've caught crappie in Norse Lake. It's just different. It's just a different lake because it's so deep and it's so clear. And I mean, I'll tell you guys what. I don't think I have one here. Yeah, I do. It was this bait. That bait right there is probably one of the clearest baits you're going to get for a crappie. And I put a chartreuse head on it in Norris, okay? And I could watch that bait fall 12 feet down. And it was a sunny day. The sun was shining. But I literally could see that bait 12 feet deep from the surface. And I know that because I had an 11-foot rod, and it was about a foot past the end of the rod, and I could put the rod all the way to the water and still see the jig. That lake is tough. But there's fish in it, and it's a good lake. You know, Ashley, I wouldn't mind coming up there and doing a video. I wouldn't mind coming up there and fishing with you. But that's a haul for me. That's probably – it is the furthest lake for me to get to. And it's so big. I mean, it depends on what side of the lake you fish. I mean, I can put in down at the dam hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. But if you go to the upper end, I mean, it's 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, that lake's huge. It's one of the biggest – it is the biggest lake impoundment in East Tennessee anyway. So – George Hamby checking in late. Hello. All right. I'm a little behind. I think I'm caught up on the comments, but I'm a little behind you guys, so. Sleep at the Rio. When are you coming to Texas to fish with me for some big girls? Man, I need to plan a trip. I really do. I just don't have the time right now. I would love to come down there, Chris. I really would. And I'm going to at some point. It's just probably not going to be this summer. It's probably going to be. Plus, I lived in East Texas, and I don't want to come down there in the summer. It's hot. I mean, like melt the carpet in your boat hot. I mean, it's hot. So, no. I mean, what do y'all do? Fish till 9 o'clock and go home? I mean, it's hot down there. No, I will make it down there at some point. It just depends. I have to plan a trip and come down. When I come down, I'm coming down for at least 3 or 4 days, and I'm gonna fish every day. So I definitely want to get together and do some fishing. And Chris actually was coming this way a couple weeks ago or a week ago or something. I don't remember when it was, a week ago, but we were going to try to get hooked up and fish, and it just didn't work out. I'd really like to get together with him and fish, but we will. We'll get together for sure. Ashley Coffee. Is it coffee or Kofi? And I think you told me before it's coffee like to drink. I think you said coffee like to drink. I don't want to pronounce anybody's name wrong. Matt Scotch, thank you for the super sticker, buddy. Thank you for the donation to the channel. I appreciate that very much. I think that's the first one I've seen tonight, actually, and I appreciate it very much, Matt. I assure you guys that goes back into the channel. It goes right back into me producing videos for you guys, putting content out for you guys, staying on the water, keeping the boat running, putting baits in the boat, putting all the different stuff that costs money. It helps. It really does. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've had people ask me, if I make a lot of money on YouTube, they're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and I tell them, if you want to spend 3 to the 1 you make, you go right ahead, because that's about it. I mean, I spend a lot more money doing what I do for you guys than I do making it off YouTube. That's for sure. So thank you very much, Matt. That goes back into the channel. It goes back into crappie fishing, and I appreciate it very much, buddy. Thank you. All right, Ashley, I'm using Earth. Thanks again, by the way, to find a lot of structure on Norris and expanding my locations and options. If I ever get my boat back, I hope to start doing a lot better catching crappie. Yeah, Google Earth, especially on Norris and Douglas and Cherokee, Norris, and Douglas, is a godsend, really, because you can see so much when those lakes are down. It's really great when the lake's down and you can get a good Google Earth picture and you can look at the banks and see all the structure there and mark it and transfer it into your units. I mean, it makes it a lot easier. Save a lot of money burning gas, I can assure you that. So I've done a lot of that actually on Douglas. I have a lot of stuff on Douglas marked from Google Earth. Asleep at the reel. I will get up there with you soon. Hot wimp. We stay out till 9:15. That's funny. Yeah, well, it gets hot down there, that's for sure. You guys from Texas know it gets hot down there. George Hamby, where do you get your double cross jigs from? I've had a hard time finding them lately. They've got them at George. They've got them at Gunny's. They've got the double cross jig heads at Gunny's. So you can run to Gunny's in Marable to get those. Or did you check Gunny's? George is in Marable. Gunny's out of them? Surely not. Surely Gunny's has them. He had a bunch when I was up there. Try Gunny's, George. Ashley, speaking of clear water, have you ever had an instance where you thought the high-vis line would deter some crappie from biting? I have not. No, I have not, Ashley. I fished some really clear stuff and caught crappie on high-vis line. Crappie aren't line specific, and I haven't seen an instance where they ever were to tell me anything different. I mean, could it? Yeah, it could. I mean, if they were to see it, I mean, I guess it could. But I hadn't seen an instance personally where it deterred them. Mm-mm. Now I have seen where I have seen a difference in trout fishing, but not crappie. And I've seen a difference when I used to bass fish. You could see a difference in the different color lines, but not crappie. I haven't. No. JT, got to run, Matt. It was great. I have to clean a bunch of sand bass. Have fun cleaning, JT. Glad you caught some. We'll see you later, buddy. That's a good one. Does the mayfly hatch affect crappie at all, or is that just a bass and bluegill thing? Grant, that's a good question. I have not seen personally crappie that. Yeah, let me go back and think. I haven't seen crappie actually come up and eat mayflies. I know they will. I've heard that they will. I hadn't personally seen it. I do know of a dock that every year, for some reason, it loads up with mayflies. I'm talking the poles, the roof, the everything. I mean, I don't know why, but the mayflies just flock to it. And I have noticed that you can catch crappie off that dock when there's mayflies on it. And if there's not mayflies on it, you can't catch crappie off of it. So it may affect them, yeah. Yeah. I just personally haven't seen, like bluegill. Bluegill, they'll come up and eat mayflies right off the water. Bass will come and eat crappie, bass, bluegill, blah, blah. Bass will come up and eat mayflies off the water, obviously. Bluegill love them. But crappie, I haven't ever seen them actually breaking water, eating mayflies. Could they be underneath the water eating them if they sank? Maybe, but I don't know. But I do know that I got on bluegill one time on a bank that had mayflies on it. And we sat there, and actually it was several years ago, and we threw little trout magnets up on the bank, and I bet we sat there and caught. It was crazy because you take a little gold trout magnet and you throw it up on the bank, and before you could close your bail, that little trout magnet was taking off that direction. It was a lot of fun. So if you find mayflies, you can catch a lot of bluegill in a hurry, and it's a lot of fun too. Bass Pro only had 30 seconds. Double crosses. Yeah, go by Gunny's. Gunny's has them, George. I'm sure they do. I know he had a bunch when I was in there. He's got 16ths. George, I fished a dock on Loudon we called Mayfly for a while. It collapsed this past year. I know which dock you're talking about. That's not the dock I'm talking about. The dock I'm talking about was on Watts Bar. But did you catch them? Did you catch them, George, when it had mayflies on it? And did you catch them there when it didn't have mayflies on it? I would think that, I mean, crappie are opportunistic eaters, just like, and they're aggressive eaters. So if there's enough mayflies on the water and enough commotion going on, I would think they would. I just hadn't witnessed it. But I know crappie come up to the surface. I do know that. And they'll feed from the surface. I know one day we pulled up on a dock. It's a funny story. We pulled up on a dock one day. We were shooting a dock on Chickamauga. It's winter. And water was down, so there was enough water underneath it to go take my boat literally underneath it. I was in a bass tracker. This has been many, many years ago. I shot my jig under it, and my jig skipped and went over a cross member. And I told my buddy, I said, I'm not retying. I said, I'm just going to go into there and get it. I said, we hadn't caught anything right here yet, and I'm just going to go into there and get it. So I pulled the boat underneath there, and I was reeling my line up to pop my jig off the cross member. And when I leaned over the front of the boat with my rod to pop my jig off, I looked down, and there's about a 14-inch crappie laying there about 6 inches under the surface of the water, just sitting there. And I just kind of froze, and I was looking at it. I told my buddy, it was in the back of the boat, I said, hey, what do you have tied on? And he said, I think he said a slider. He said, I got a slider. And I said, bring your rod up here a minute. And he brought his rod up there. He handed it to me, and I got his rod, and I just reached up, and I put my jig down there in front, or that jig in front of that fish, and I was just bouncing it. And that fish would turn around the other direction. I'd move the jig around, and I'd put it in front of his nose, and I'd bounce it, and he'd turn around the other direction. And I'm 3 feet from this fish. I mean, I'm right over top of him. And I'd bounce it. He'd turn around. And then finally, I just got sick of him turning around all the time. So I took that jig and I popped him in the nose with it. Literally hit him in the nose, right between the eyes, just right there. And that jig, as soon as it touched that fish's nose, he went, and I set the hook, smacked the top of the dock, or the bottom of the dock, I guess. Smacked the bottom of the dock, and I'm reeling this big fish in, and I'm going, my gosh, I'll never do that again. So I do know fish come up shallow, and I mean, if there was a crappie sitting 6 inches under the water and a mayfly landed above him, I don't know why he wouldn't eat it. Terry Landry, gotta run. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good night, Terry. Talk at you later, buddy. Nope. Where's it at, old buddy? Michelle wants to know where that dock is. Ha ha. I told you it's on Watts Bar. It's between Fort Loudon Dam and Watts Bar Dam. On Watts Bar. It's on the impoundment of Watts Bar Lake, Watts Bar Reservoir. "903 Fishing. Great channel, sir. Y'all want to see some crappie catching? Go check my channel out, 903 Fishing. Asleep at the Real Outdoors, and I slayed some crappie today. Video coming soon. Thanks, guys. God bless. God bless, 903. George Hamby, I've got to go to Watts Bar soon. Yeah, you need to, George. There's some good fish in Watts Bar. It's a great fishery. I tell everybody, you rather have a love or a hate relationship with Watts Bar. Watts Bar can be a lake that you absolutely fall in love with, or Watts Bar will be a lake that you absolutely hate the thought of. It just depends on the way you like to fish. And it depends on, what time of year you fish it. So summer on Watts Bar can sometimes get a little cantankerous. Fish can get a little locked up on Watts Bar, and, they get a little off late summer, but they turn right back on early fall, winter, spring. It's all good time. Good times on Watts Bar. You just got to be on the right stuff, right day. So it's kind of like any other lake, but there's a lot of lakes like Chickamauga. I mean, you can go turn a bad day into a good day on Chickamauga pretty easy. Tellico, just the amount of fish in Tellico is just ridiculous. I think more people need to keep them out of Tellico so they'll grow a little bit bigger, but George said, I've been on Loudon for the past year and just now working into Tellico. It's a process, George. That's for sure. That's for sure. I got the hiccups. It's a process for sure. You got to start learning these other lakes and venturing out. And I'm glad to hear that you're venturing out. That's great. Tellico's a good reservoir. It's a lot of fish in Tellico. I would say the upper end of Tellico is probably more fish than the lower end. There's probably more stuff to fish in the upper end than the lower end. But both ends of the lake have a lot of good fishing in them. They've got a lot of fish in them in general, and just great lakes to fish. So, Loudon, there's probably more docks on Loudon that hold fish than Tellico. There's not an overabundance of docks on Tellico that hold fish. There's a few, but they're few and far between. There's a lot more whitefish in Tellico than there is blacks, and the whitefish generally like structure, generally like brush, where your blacks generally like docks. So because of that, there's more fish on brush than there is docks. Easy, Blake. Don't be stealing my trip now. Blake said, Chris, I'll come as a sub for Matt. I'll be glad to tell him about our fishing. Back up, Blake. I'm gonna get you, man. Don't be stealing my trip. Hey, I bet you Chris will take you though. You go down there. I bet you Chris will take you. George Hamby, I found so much structure in Tellico in just a few hours scanning. Tellico, let me tell you, there's more structure in Tellico Lake than Chickamauga, Watts Bar, and no, not Watts Bar. Chickamauga, Loudon, Douglas, Cherokee, Melton Hill combined. There's more structure in Tellico than all those lakes combined that I found. I mean, it is ridiculous how much stuff's in Tellico. A bunch. Larry Merrick, tell us about long-term life of plastics. Do you keep them in your boat year-round or take them in on the hot days? That's a good question, Larry. Very good question. I actually leave my baits in the boat year-round. My baits never come out of the boat. You'll notice that some baits, the colors will bleed and they'll actually mix, and your two-toned baits, sometimes, your chartreuses will bleed into some of your whites and stuff like that. Only on certain baits, though. I've noticed that some bait brands will bleed and some won't. So the ones that bleed, I don't typically use at all. So I just kind of chop that up to see you later. Your bonehead baits, your obviously jiffy jigs and flies and things of that nature aren't going to bleed because they're not poured. But your bonehead baits, your crappie magnets, those baits won't bleed. They won't fade as long as you keep them out of the UV. If you do your best to keep them in a box underneath the deck or somewhere in a compartment. If you leave baits on the deck all day while you're fishing, they will fade. The UV will get to them. It will turn the colors. I've seen it a bunch. I've actually taken packs out of a locker and set them on the deck. And by the end of the day, you look down at them and put them you put them back in your bag beside another bait of the same color, and you look at them and go, wait a minute. That doesn't look right. Especially fishing in the summer, laying on a really hot deck with just sun beating down on them, the UV will do stuff to them. So I generally keep mine in a locker, and I leave them in my boat all year, and doesn't too much affect them. I will say this, I do not put my baits in boxes. I do not take them out of the original packs. As they come to me, they go in the boat. I don't have any here, but I use a 2-gallon Ziploc bag or a gallon Ziploc bag, and I sort my baits in gallon Ziploc bags, or again 2-gallon. Like I'll put all my bonehead stump bugs in one 2-gallon bag. I'll put all of my crappie magnets in a 2-gallon bag. I'll put my slab magnets in a 2-gallon bag. I put my bonehead slim sticks in a 2-gallon bag. So I sort them by bait. I don't sort by color. I just sort by bait, and if I'm looking for a certain color, I'll dig through till I find the color. Or a lot of times they'll get dumped out on the deck, and I'll pull the color out I want, and I've got like a little day box. I'll put those colors in my day box, but I don't take them out of the original packs and put them in boxes. And the reason I don't is because when baits come from the manufacturer, they generally are going to have some type of worm oil in the pack. Okay. If you take them out of that worm oil, they will dry out. If you take them out of the worm oil and put them in an open container, they are going to dry out, and you're going to have to re-worm oil the baits to keep them, moist. I leave them in the original packages. I put them in the boat. I go fish. Matt Scotch, I ordered some double crosses straight from Leland's. Got them quick. Yeah, you can get them as well, Matt, off the website. The only thing about the website is you've got to pay shipping. So if you have somebody local, then you don't have to pay shipping on them, and you can get them for the same price just about. Most of the guys who carry baits are selling them for the same price off of the websites, the MSRP. So ooh, I lost my spot again. It's only happened once tonight, so that's pretty good. Generally, I have to tell you guys 3 or 4 times, oh, sorry guys, lost my spot. It only happened once so far. Of course, tonight's not over, is it? Between Blake, Chris, and Josh, y'all are going to make me sick. Let's see. Michael said, got some more stump bugs last week, and I liked them. Good deal, Michael. They're good baits. I really like them too. I like them for their durability. I like them for their color combos, and they catch fish. So what else can you ask for? George said, I pour a little mineral oil in my plastics. It seems to keep them fresh longer. I leave them in the boat all the time. I put it on my Plano boxes. Yeah, I mean, if you take them out of the original packs, you got to put some kind of oil on them or they'll dry out. But yeah. Besides color, does the plastic itself get gooey? Some baits will, Larry, yeah. Some baits will break down on you. The baits I aforementioned earlier, they won't. Boneheads, crappie magnets, they won't get gooey. I have seen Bobby Garlands get gooey. They get too hot, they get gooey. Another reason that I don't use their baits anymore. But yeah, the baits I mentioned earlier won't. Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys, I'm reading a couple of these. Work my way through here. What type rod, line, and lure you use to search for a bank fisherman? Um, Rod, line, and lure. Lure, I would use if you're searching. I would use something with some action. I'd use an action tail. Um, if you're just searching for fish, something that'll get a reaction strike out of fish. Some kind of curly tail, whether it be a slab curly from Crappie Magnet or a Southern Pro Hot Grub or something with some action to it that you can cast and work, back to the bank and look for those fish, try to get reaction strikes out of them just so you can locate them, a locator bait, if you will. Line, you can get away with a lot of different lines. You can get away with Vicious 4-pound, 6-pound test. I have been experimenting with the Bonehead braid. It's a 12-pound braid, 4-pound diameter. I've been experimenting with that. Actually, you guys are going to see some more of that on the channel because I just recently spooled up a set of rods with nothing but braid. I'm probably going to start fishing brush with braid and a leader. I really liked the hook set of braid. When you rear back on one with braid, that hook's set. I mean, there's no stretch to it. And after fishing with braid, you can really feel that stretch in mono. It's one of those things where I don't know at this point if I like that stretch anymore. I'm just going to try to play with a couple different things. I do know that you can't shoot braid very well under docks. And I feel like I lose some distance shooting braid with under a dock. So I'll stick with my mono for docks, but I am going to fish brush with braid. So, and I went to an orange braid. It's a high vis orange. That's the Bonehead B Power braided line. Again, that's 12-pound test, 4-pound diameter. That's a 500-yard spool from Bonehead. So we're going to rock that for a little while and see what happens. Then I'll let you guys know how it's going. I am going to fish with a leader. That way when I need to break a jig off, it'll have a 4-pound leader, probably 2 feet. But there won't be much stretch in a 2-foot leader. So you set the hook, it's direct set. Anyway, that would be what I'd use. A rod, as far as a rod, I'd use probably, again, a 6-foot rod. There's a lot of good ones out there. The Ozark 6-foot rod, the Dock Shooter, the B&M Sharpshooter 6, the ACC Crappie Stick. If I was going to buy one right off the rip, I'd go with the Ozark because it's a good all-around rod. You can do anything with it. All right, George Hamby. I never thought about Ziplocs for the plastics in 1 or 2 gallon bags. That would be much easier to deal with than the boxes. Yeah, it is. You've got, well, for instance, these are all going to go. These right here are all going to go in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag when I get one, put them in. So I get one to put them in. These will all go in a Ziploc bag, and that way it makes it easier. If I just threw these in there, then, I got stuff laying all over the place. But if I get me a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, I know where all those baits are at. I can run in there. I can sort through them fairly quickly. They're all stump bugs. I'm just looking for a specific color. I can filter through there, and I can pull my black and chartreuse out, and there I go. There's my black and chartreuse stump bugs. So it makes it a lot easier in the boat. And I don't have to sort baits and put them in a Plano box. So it just, when they come in, I can just throw them in a bag, throw them in the boat. I don't computer. He says, I use the muddy water baits. They last a long time when fishing and don't get gooey. Muddy water baits. Yeah, muddy water baits, they make a good bait. I have not personally used their baits, so I can't speak much about muddy water baits, but I've heard a lot of guys that use muddy water baits. Ronnie Harris, have you ever shot docks with jiffy jigs? All the time. I like shooting a dock with a jiffy jig, and I'll tell you why. Multiple reasons. You don't have to worry about, with a jiffy jig, you don't have to worry about the plastic coming down off that jig at all. That plastic will not move. A straight hair fly is a little harder to shoot because there's no body to the jig. It's literally just a jig head with a feather or a marabou or a calf tail or whatever it may be. There's no body there to skip. So a lot of times shooting just a hair jig can get a little cantankerous because, again, there's nothing to skip off the lake and it just digs. A jiffy jig will allow you a little bit of that rubber body or plastic body to skip off the water, and you can catch fish after fish after fish after fish after fish, pull the jig out of the fish's mouth and shoot it right back under the dock. You don't have to put the jig back up on the jig head. You don't have to worry about it tearing. You don't have to worry about – now, after you catch 50 or 60 or 70 fish, it's going to rip that plastic body. But you'll be able to catch 50 or 60 or 70 fish before it does if you don't lose your jig before that. So for those of you that don't know what a jiffy jig is, that is a jiffy jig. It's a marabou tail. It's a plastic body. They've got all kinds of different colors. This is a sample card is what this is. Let me back up a little bit. It's got all their different colors. They're in Vidalia, Georgia, and there's their phone number, Jiffy Jigs. Made in the USA. Great baits. I've used them for years. They catch fish. And, yes, I shoot docks with them all the time. So, very, very good bait. Good question. Very good question. Thank you, Ronnie. George, I had an issue with the bonehead braid. Bluegills kept picking at it. It only happened to the orange line. Maybe they were UT fans, George. That's interesting, though. I'll see if that happens to me too. I'll be able to tell on the live scope. We'll see. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, bluegills, they'll peck at chartreuse, and chartreuse and orange, they'll peck at. Yeah, I mean, they'll rip a chartreuse tail off a bait and then never touch it again. So, yeah, I'll check, or I'll be on the lookout for that and let you know if that happens for sure. I'll be switching to bags ASAP. I'm trying to up my game as much as possible. Started some big electronics upgrades today. Father's Day to myself. There you go. That's great. What electronics did you get? Oh, I did it again. There's number 2. I'll catch back up in a second. NM Bass Fishing said, awesome, thanks. You're welcome, sir. All right, guys. I don't see any more comments. I don't see any more questions. I'll talk for another minute, see if anything pops up. But yeah, again, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everything y'all have done for the channel. I know I say that it seems like I'm a broken record, and I tell you guys that every week, but I really do appreciate it. I'll be honest with you guys. When I started this, I never imagined it would grow like it has. I never imagined that I'd be doing live shows and I'd have followers and all that. I mean, it just kind of blows my mind. It actually blows my family's mind too, because my 13-year-old son's like, Dad, you have followers, like, you know, followers. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. So again, I never thought I'd be where I'm at, and it's all because of you guys, and I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. But it's kind of like, I'm I never thought I'd be doing anything that even close to this for crappie fishing. I never imagined I'd be where I'm at, I guess. And it's humbled me the way that you guys have supported me and supported the channel. And I thank y'all so much for that. It's awesome. It really is. And I know I sound like a bumbling, stumbling fool right now, but I really do appreciate it. And I want you guys to know how much I appreciate y'all. So, George said, I got the Mega 360, upgraded my live scope and to a 12-inch and a new 10-inch DI for the front. Man, you went all out, George. You're going to be able to see everything. George said, I don't want to miss nothing. That's awesome, man. You'll have to let me know how all that works. That's pretty cool. Congratulations, man. Josh, thank you for the super chat, buddy. You're very welcome for the info. Like I said, I enjoy the heck out of giving it to you guys, and I enjoy the heck out of running my mouth and flapping my gums. So thank y'all so much for everything. Thank you, Josh, for the super chat, and I appreciate it. I assure you it'll go right back into crappie fishing, buddy. So thank y'all very, very much. And thank you, sir, for the super chat. Brad Nelson had live scope out on the lake for the first time. Had a problem figuring out which edge should be pointed out for forward view. Also, what weights do you use so you can differentiate your baits from at cutoff? The fish. So I throw a 32nd ounce head or 16th ounce head 80% of the time, Brad. I'm rather throwing a 32nd or 16th. I used to throw eighths a little bit, but you have to swim an eighth so fast to keep it level in the water because it'll drop, it'll sink, that I pretty much quit using eighths unless I'm in real heavy current. But a 32nd ounce jig, you should be able to see on your screen. So as far as your live scope transducer pointing forward, if you look at the top of your transducer, let's just say this is your transducer. I'm going to get rid of your comment, Brad. Sorry. Let's say this is your transducer. Okay. If you look on one side of the transducer, you've got the wires coming out of the back or out of the transducer. Where the wires come out of your transducer is the back of the transducer. So this right here would be the back of your transducer, okay? That's where the wires come out. So this is the front, and that's the direction that needs to point forward, okay? Your wire's back here in the back, and you want the front of the transducer without the wire to point forward, okay? So I hope that helps. And there's a learning curve to it. There's a learning curve to live scope, guys. You're not going to put live scope on your boat, go to the lake, and catch 100 fish. There's a learning curve, and it takes a little time. But once you get the learning curve and once you figure everything out, I have guides that call me. I've had multiple guides that have called me that bought live scopes, and they called and they're like, I need your help. I got to figure this out. I can't figure it out. Help me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying there's a learning curve to anything that you buy, whether it's a 360, whether it's a 12-inch down imaging unit, whether it's a live scope. I mean, there's learning curves to everything. So don't get frustrated with it. And, it will eventually help you a ton. But I hope that helps. I hope that helps at least with the orientation of the transducer. George said, Matt, once I finish up, I'll get you to go train me on it. Well, I'd be happy to go through it with you. I don't know about training you, but I'd be happy to go through it with you, and we can learn it together, that's for sure. Michael, I've learned a lot off your channel. Thank you. You're very welcome, Michael. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching and being a part. Ronnie Harris, good night, and thank you for all your knowledge. You're very welcome, Ronnie. Good night, sir. Have a good night. Josh Sanders, have a good night, everyone. Good night, Josh. Major Brown, which baits will you be sending to the top 3 giveaway winners from last week? That is bonehead baits, Major Brown. And I was a few days behind on that, and I apologize, but it took me a few days to get to the post office. You guys should be getting those pretty soon. They should be to you. Actually, they should be to you. If not, they should be there soon. Brad Nelson, thanks. That's what I thought. You're welcome, sir. Blake said, good night, all. Chris, I dropped you an email. There y'all go, making plans without me. Everyone have a great week. Thanks, Matt. You're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to call it hour 46. I think this is going to be one of our shorter ones, but been on for a little over an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to call it tonight. I appreciate all y'all for watching. Thank y'all again for everything y'all have done for the channel. It has truly, truly humbled me, and I just appreciate each and every one of you for what you've done for the channel. So anyway, good night. God bless. Ashley, you are welcome. God bless, sir. God bless everyone, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. Watch out for the video this weekend. It's going to be good. Especially watch the ending. Okay, if you watch the video this weekend, make sure you watch the ending. Don't click off the video until the end. Okay, guys. There's a little blooper, I guess you'll call it, and I don't want you to miss it. Okay, it's pretty funny. I thought it was funny. So anyway, good night. God bless. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. And if you have any other comments, questions, drop me a comment on the live. You can always come back and comment after the fact, and I'll answer it. Okay. So again, good night, and we'll see you guys later.